Once upon a time, in the bustling town of Udi, nestled between beautiful hills and a wide flowing river, lived a humble couple, Samuel and Linda. Their lives were simple, but marked by an unfulfilled desire. Samuel, a simple businessman, managed a modest trading store, while Linda, a devoted school teacher, lovingly nurtured the minds of young children in the local primary school. For over 10 years, Samuel and Linda had been married. Their union was one of mutual respect, deep love, and unwavering companionship. Yet, their home echoed with the silence of a child's laughter that had never come. They had prayed, consulted doctors, and even visited traditional healers, but they had never conceived. As Linda reached her early 40s, the hope of conceiving faded, and their hearts grew heavy with each passing year. One evening, as they sat on their porch, watching the sun dip below the horizon, Samuel turned to Linda, his eyes reflecting the last rays of the setting sun. "My dear, we have tried for so long," he said gently. "Perhaps it is time to consider other options. What do you think?" Linda nodded, her heart warmed by her husband's compassion. "I have been thinking the same, Samuel. Adoption could be the answer we have been seeking." And so, with hearts full of hope, they began the process of adoption. They visited the orphanage in the nearby city of Aba, where the kind matron Mrs. Apple greeted them warmly. She showed them around, discussing the various processes involved in adoption. At the orphanage garden, one child caught their attention. She was the little girl of 3, with sparkling eyes, beautiful hair, and a bright smile that seemed to light up the room. They asked Mrs. Apple about her, and she told them her name was Gifty. She was left at the orphanage's doorstep when she was just a baby, Mrs. Apple explained. "We named her Gifty because we believe she's a special child." Samuel and Linda felt an immediate connection to Gifty. They spent time with her, playing games and telling stories. Gifty in turn seemed to sense their kindness and love. She clung to Linda's hand and giggled at Samuel's funny faces. "She's the one," Linda whispered to Samuel as they watched Gifty play with a group of children. Samuel nodded, feeling a sense of peace and certainty he hadn't known in years. The adoption process was lengthy, but Samuel and Linda persisted. After several weeks, they finally brought Gifty home, their hearts filled with joy as they welcomed her into their home. Linda decorated Gifty's room with bright colors and cheerful decorations, filling it with books and toys. Samuel spent his evenings reading bedtime stories to her, their favorite being Anansi the Spider, a collection of traditional African folktales. "Read another story, Papa," Gifty would say, her eyes wide with excitement. "All right, my little star," Samuel would reply, settling into the chair by her bed. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, life in Udi flourished with Gifty's presence. Samuel and Linda performed their roles as parents, attending to her every need with love and care. Gifty thrived under their nurturing, her laughter filling their home with a joy they had always longed for. One afternoon, as Linda returned home with Gifty from school, Gifty asked, "Mama, where did I come from?" Linda knelt to meet Gifty's gaze. "You came from a special place, my dear. You were brought to us by God. We chose you and you chose us." Gifty's eyes sparkled. "So that's why my name is Gifty." "Yes, you are, my love," Linda said, hugging her tightly. "You are our precious gift." Samuel and Linda's lives continued to blossom with the joy brought by their adopted daughter, Gifty. By the time she was 6 years old, one morning, as the family gathered for breakfast, Gifty shared a dream she had the previous night. Her eyes sparkled with excitement. "Mama, Papa," she said, her voice filled with excitement. "I had a dream that Mama was having a baby." Linda and Samuel exchanged amused glances, their smiles tinged with a hint of sadness. They had long accepted that having a biological child might never happen for them. Linda gently stroked Gifty's hair. That's a lovely dream, Gifty. Maybe it's a sign of something wonderful in the future. Samuel chuckled softly. Yes, perhaps it is. But for now, we have you, our precious gift. Gifty beamed, happy with their response. However, the dream lingered in Linda's mind. 2 months later, something unexpected happened. Linda began to feel nauseous in the mornings and found herself unusually tired. Her suspicions grew and she decided to take a pregnancy test. When the results came back positive, Linda could hardly believe her eyes. With trembling hands, she showed the test to Samuel, who stared at it in disbelief. Linda, is this? Could this be real? He asked, his voice filled with surprise. Linda nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks. Yes, Samuel, we're going to have a baby. Their joy knew no bounds. They visited the doctor who confirmed that Linda was indeed pregnant. The ultrasound revealed even more exciting news. It was a boy. As Linda's pregnancy progressed, things began to change in their household. Initially, Gifty was so excited at the prospect of a baby brother. She often talked to Linda's growing belly, her face glowing with joy. Hello, little brother, she would say, pressing her ear against Linda's stomach. I can't wait to meet you. But as the months passed, Linda's attitude towards Gifty began to change. She started to withdraw from Gifty, becoming impatient and upset at everything she did. Samuel noticed the change and tried talking to Linda about it. One evening, after Gifty had gone to bed, Samuel sat down with Linda. Linda, what's happening? Why are you being so upset with Gifty? Linda sighed, her expression a mixture of exhaustion and frustration. Samuel, she's not our biological child, and I can't help but feel that you pay more attention to her than to me or our baby. Samuel frowned, taken aback by her words. Linda, Gifty is our daughter, whether by birth or by choice. We made a commitment to love and care for her. This baby doesn't change that. Linda's eyes flashed with anger. Maybe not for you, but for me, it's different. I want to focus on our son, our flesh and blood. As Linda's pregnancy reached its 8th month, her resentment towards Gifty grew even more pronounced. She began to make unreasonable demands, insisting that Gifty should be returned to the orphanage. Samuel was horrified by the suggestion. Linda, I can't believe you're saying this. Gifty is part of our family. We can't just abandon her. Linda's face hardened. It's either her or me, Samuel. I can't deal with this stress. The baby needs a peaceful environment. Faced with so much pressure from Linda, Samuel made a painful decision. He couldn't bring himself to send Gifty back to the orphanage, so he took her to his elder sister's home in a nearby town. He lied to Linda, telling her that Gifty had been returned to the orphanage, hoping that this would relax her and give her the peace she claimed to need. Gifty, although sad and missing her parents, accepted her father's explanation with a maturity beyond her years. Papa, I understand. I'll stay with Auntie and my cousins for as long as you need. Samuel hugged her tightly, tears in his eyes. I promise, Gifty, this is only temporary. We'll be together again soon. Linda's pregnancy continued, but she didn't have the peace she needed. A part of her missed Gifty, but she chose to focus on her own baby. Samuel's constant sorrow over Gifty's absence created a tension in their home, but he chose to wait until after the baby was born. Finally, the day arrived. Linda went into labor, and Samuel rushed her to the hospital. Hours later, their joy turned to despair when the doctor delivered the tragic news. Their baby boy was stillborn. He stopped breathing few minutes after he was born. Linda and Samuel were devastated. Back at home, the atmosphere was heavy with grief. Linda grieved, her body weak, and her spirit shattered. Samuel stayed by her side, offering comfort as best as he could. I'm so sorry, Linda, he whispered, his voice breaking. We have to be strong, please. Linda shook her head, tears streaming down her face. No, Samuel, it's me who should be sorry. I let my jealousy and fear drive away our daughter. Now we have lost both our children. Oh, my gifty. Days turned into weeks, and the couple mourned their loss in silence. One day, as Linda sat on the balcony, she felt a small hand slip into hers. She looked down to see Gifty, her eyes filled with love and forgiveness. Gifty, Linda whispered, tears welling up in her eyes. Oh, my dear child, I'm so sorry. I was wrong. Please, my love, I've missed you so much. Please, can you ever forgive Mommy? Gifty hugged her tightly. Mama, I missed you. I forgive you. We can be a family again. Samuel, who had planned the reunion, stood behind them, his heart filled with relief and joy. He joined the embrace, the family united once more. From that day forward, Linda and Samuel devoted themselves to rebuilding their family. They showered Gifty with the love and attention she deserved, and Gifty in turn continued to bring light and hope to their lives. One evening, as they sat together in a restaurant having dinner, Linda spoke softly. Samuel, I now know that Gifty was truly a gift from God to us. We were blessed to have her, and I almost let my fear take her away. Samuel squeezed her hand. We learned a hard lesson, Linda, but we're better for it. Gifty nestled between them, smiled contentedly. I love you, Mama and Papa. We'll always be a family. The bond between them grew even stronger, and the story of their trials and triumphs became a cherished legend in Udi, reminding everyone that true miracles are born from the heart. As the As the years passed, Samuel, Linda, and Gifty faced life's challenges together, their love unwavering. And through it all, they knew that their greatest gift was not just the miracle of life, but the miracle of love and forgiveness that held their family together.